Hey y'all, Mrs.E here, and now we are officially starting my little breakdown of Apex Legends Pathfinder's Quest book. This is officially Chapter 1, which is Hey Shay, aka my Lifelines chapter. I'm so excited. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and check out our Discord linked below. Enjoy! Chapter 1, Hey Shay. In this chapter, Pathfinder goes to interview Lifeline, which was really heartwarming to me. She's such a good soul, and she's one of the few people that's, I guess, somewhat nice to Pathfinder always, which is it just makes me smile a little bit. A couple facts about her. Her name in the games is Lifeline, her full name being AJ Shay. Her age is 24. Homeworld is Samathe. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Her abilities include the Tactical Dock Heal, aka Drone of Compassion, Passive Combat Medic, and Ultimate being her care package or everyone's birthday present. Couple things about Lifeline. She grew up on Samathe. I really hope I'm saying that right. Her and Octane went to the same school, private schools together, and they had the same friends. But keynote here is that their parents did not do business together. I thought that was kind of interesting. We're going to touch more on that later. When she was 19-ish, her and Octane were at a party and her parents were throwing when they found out Lifeline's parents were war profiteers. And they sold to both sides of the war and did not care. Her parents are very proud of that fact, I think in their personal opinions, and we'll kind of get into this more as we kind of review the chapter. Lifeline does admit that she had no idea what her parents were doing. She wasn't interested in the business, so when she found out, she was really embarrassed and really angry. Octane at this point was already planning a trip to Solace for a gauntlets competition, so he offered to bring Lifeline. She, at this point in her life, she had never left her home, so Solace City was just a wake-up call for her. Just to kind of throw out just how sheltered she was, she had never owned a t-shirt before. And when they got to Solace, they were going to go to the Paradise Lounge. Yes, that Paradise Lounge. But it smelled funny, so they went to a music joint down the road where Lifeline met the Flyer Liars, and she actually bought her first t-shirt at this concert. When she met the Flyer Liars, the drummer, Karen KK Cool, told Lifeline that the drums were therapeutic, so she picked up some sticks and gave it a try, and she loved it. One of the things that I really love is her animations and whatnot that she has for her heirloom. So it's kind of really fun to me to learn about how she really kind of got that heirloom in her life. Because up until this point, we just knew she was the drummer. We didn't really know how she got into it. So it was, fun little Lifeline facts. So at this point, Lifeline started her new life. She started traveling with the Flying Liars and filling in as a drummer when KK couldn't make it. She, at one point, Lifeline did attempt to confront her parents about a half year after she left. The band went back to her hometown for a benefit show. At this point, her parents didn't or couldn't or wouldn't understand why she wanted nothing to do with them or their money. They're genuinely like kind of clueless in this, and we also see this in the comics from chapter or from season 7. You really see that Lifeline's parents really just don't care about her, as she's kind of doesn't care about them or their money at that point. So when her parents and her get into this fight, she just kind of makes the ultimate decision. She grabs some of her clothes and Doc, and she's officially left for good at this point. So I think she's roughly 19 years old when she just kind of leaves her house and she's done with her parents forever. Heading back to her benefit show, this is where she met the Frontier Corps. If you did not know this before, Lifeline has volunteered with them for years. They travel all over the Outlands and they help everyone, and they don't really care who they're helping. They just help anyone in need. The problem starts, though, is when the corpse hit a money problem. Lifeline thought about reaching out to her parents, but ultimately decided against asking them because she knew where that money came from. So this is just kind of nice that she's officially stuck to her guns, even so many years later, knowing that even a charity, knowing that an organization would really benefit from her parents' money, but knowing where that money's come from, she is officially stuck to her guns, and she's like, no, I want nothing to do with that war money. And I think that's really, really admirable. So this is actually why Lifeline joined the Apex games. She acknowledges that fighting in the games isn't honorable, but the people would be fighting and dying anyways. And this way she can use her medical knowledge to help them, while all the money she earns goes to the Frontier Corps. So this was kind of like her way of saying, like, screw you to your parents, but at the same time also being able to help the Frontier Corps, which I thought was really, really awesome. Now, as stated in last week's video, Pathfinder knew that Doc had the system's signature of Chevreau Inc., which is owned by Lifeline's parents, which is how he was able to go and ask Lifeline if she knew anything about his creators. A little brief breakdown that they give us about Chevreau Inc. Was originally founded in 2445 as AI Logic, one of the first companies established in the Frontier. They then formed a partnership with Kodai, Kodai Industries, and AI Logic supplied every colonized planet in the Frontier with their number one product, which was a security monitoring drone. They functioned as security cameras, motion detectors, and communication and recording devices, which we actually see this play out in the last comic from season 7. You actually see Doc had been recording Octane telling Doc this story the whole time. I also did a review of every comic. Well, I've done a review of every comic and every lore-based story that was in-game since Season 5. Those are all on the channel. Feel free to give them a look-see if you would like to learn a little bit more about that. As the IMC expanded beyond the Frontier and the Outlands, AI Logic was the first in line to support those citizens who undertook the year-long expedition to the unexplored region. So today, the AI Logic Outlands chapter is Chevreau Inc. And it supplies the Outlands with more than 100 outlets. And the flagship factory is on Samantha. I still think I'm saying that wrong, but who knows. So a couple of things that Lifeline and Pathfinder talk about. Lifeline gives Pathfinder a tablet, which basically just gives a breakdown of the entire rise of Hammond engineering. Also mentioning the Frontier Corps and how the Frontier Corps just kind of got started assisting everyone due to the Frontier War, and with nobody on, the nice thing about the Frontier Corps is they're on everyone's side. They don't really care if you need aid, they are there for you. They also mention that at one point there was a huge blackout and all the beacons the INC built throughout the Frontier went down. So that is how the IMC just kind of ended up basically leaving the Outlands, and they left a lot of people without, anything. And at this point she says, I'm not an expert in the Outlands. You could probably get more out of Gibby, Natalie, or your best friend, Wit. To which Pathfinder responds, I love him. Which is probably one of the... it's so like this book is so well done, and when you're reading each of the character stories and how they're written and the responses from Pathfinder are just very in character, and it's such a nice thing to see. All right, so just a brief recap. The data points received that Pathfinder notes down is Chevreau Inc., AJ's family company based in the Outlands. Lifeline's family profited off of war for generations and served both sides during the Frontier War and the Outlands Civil War. This discovery pushed her away from her family into a new life as a humanitarian. Lifeline and Octane were friends when they were kids. He does make a little note about asking Octane for more stories. The history of the Frontier dates back to 2122. And then he mentions the big blackout shutdown, and those who supported the militia were promised refuge, but no one came, and the militia had abandoned all of those people. Gibby, or Gibraltar, Mirage, and Wraith are some of the legends who can speak more to the history of the Outlands. And this is when Lifeline lets Pathfinder know that his best bet would be that though she doesn't know the answer, anyone that knows the history of the Outlands might be able to give Pathfinder the answer. So next week, hopefully, pending I get all of this done, we will be reading Chapter 2, which is Solace on Solace, which is Gibraltar's chapter. So thank you so much for checking out the video today. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. Turn those notifications way on. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your week.